Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.
I'm Peggy Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hello, Peg.
So good to see you. Hello. Wendy Rodrigue Magnus. Wendy travels around the country teaching art education and sharing the legacy of her late husband, artist George Rodrigue. Welcome, welcome. So good to see you. And we love your blue dog next to you. That's great. Look forward to catching up. New Orleans bass player and composer Stu Odom, who has a recent album and 2 performances this weekend. Good to see you, Stu, in our studio. Also with us, of course, Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Howdy, Alan.
Hey, Peg.
Hello. Poppy, the king cake craze continues.
Well, you know, I am on that king cake beat.
You are.
And so today we're going to look at some things that aren't even food. And we're going to start off at Hazelnut, because he's got some pretty fabulous brand new Carnival merchandise in that everybody needs to go check out. One of them is an absolutely adorable candle. Look at it's a king cake. It's
and that's
an
Brian
oyster.
Batt and Tom. Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And they also have some pretty fabulous Majorette Boots door hangers. So stroll by Hazelnut and see what they're offering for Carnival. And here is something that is absolutely brand new this year. This is old-time New Orleans syrups. And in particular, what we're going to be talking about is their king cake syrup. Now, the maker is a gentleman named Frank Simoncioni. This is inspired by his childhood favorite New Orleans food memories. So there is a king cake syrup that you can just turn into all sorts of things. But look, Peg, it's nectar. It's
Yay.
the nectar syrup back again. He's got that too. And of course, this can go on everything. He also has a grown-up mint julep syrup that I wanted to point out. But you can use these for toppings and snowballs and cocktails and anything really. And you'll find them at all the grocery stores we've got listed there. And they're pretty delicious. And that's a pretty cool gift 2-pack you can pick up. Now, you know, Mardi Gras is going to be here before we know it. And one thing that always sells out, but I checked today, so if you would like to spend Lundi Gras on the balcony at the Avenue Pub, something I highly recommend, because the view there, the angle is incredible. So there are tickets for $75. There's some still available, so go to Eventbrite now and get your tickets. That $75 includes a bar tab and a buffet. And don't forget all of their delicious, heartwarming dishes. You know, it is just like a little French Belgian pub in there. And their cassoulet, something that you don't see much on menus, is not to be missed. So you don't have to wait till Mardi Gras. But if you want to go Lundi Gras, buy the ticket tonight.
Thank you so much, Poppy. And over to Alan. And I don't know about you, but I cannot get enough of Aretha Franklin. And we're so lucky we have some more here.
I have to tell you, I was so pleased to see Jovan Matteo. She's the person who played the wonderful Betty Schaefer role in Cutting Edge Theater's production of Sunset Boulevard this past summer. And she is going to be back. I've been really looking forward to seeing her because she played that role so well with so much vocal wizardry. She's going to play the legendary Aretha Franklin in Respect. That's the musical about the Queen of Soul, and really an opportunity to revisit some of Aretha's greatest hits. Respect opens next Friday at the Cutting Edge Theater in Slidell and plays for just 4 shows. That's Friday and Saturday night, 28th and 29th, and then February 4th and 5th. Go check that out. I really think everybody who gets over there is going to be in for a big, big thrill. By the way, last week I previewed the fact that Dane Rhodes would be co-producing and starring in Clue, based on the film that starred, of course, Tim Curry. He's going to play the Tim Curry role. But he'll be joined on stage by others, including Tracy Elliott and Big Easy Award nominee Margot Fanning. They open tomorrow night for a 3-week run into February. And again, there's an opportunity to get some buffets if you want to check that out before the show as well. 7 o'clock and then an 8:15 show, or a buffet on Sunday at 11:30, followed by a 1:30 show. And then taking their clue, if you will, their cue from Clue. Playmakers Theater in Covington is doing their own mystery, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. That's Agatha Christie's very first novel and the one that introduced the world to Detective Hercule Poirot. And so check that out. The Mysterious Affair is in Slidell as well. So some really good shows starting up at on the North Shore. And Peggy, you know, I knew this was going to happen. When the COVID pandemic first began, I imagined, just like after Katrina, that there would be a world of plays written by frustrated playwrights who were going to tell their stories about how they couldn't put on their productions. Well, the Radical Buffoons were getting ready to put on Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Unfortunately, they were not able to, so they told the story in this new play called Redux, which is going to be on at the Hotel Peter and Paul on Friday and Sunday and Monday. No Saturday night shows on January 28th, 29th, and again, skip a day, and then they'll skip it over to Monday, and then again all the way till February the 7th. So Friday, Sunday, and Monday at the Hotel Peter Paul. Check that out. Again, the Radical Buffoons.
And of course, they've been on our show. They're such a clever bunch, really.
John Green and Company.
Woohoo! Thank you so much. And over to Wendy. Wendy, it's great to see you. And we certainly, of course, miss your late husband, George Rodrigue. And you initially, as I understand it, met him while working for him, and eventually love ensued. But you continue, and sadly he has passed, but you continue to spread the gospel to local schools around the country. Tell us about your current mission here.
Yes, I've tried to continue what George and I started. It was his idea back in the late 90s. We actually started in Shreveport doing outdoor festivals. And he said, we've got to put together a show for people because they want us here at this festival for 3 days. He was selling posters similar to Jazz Fest, it was the Red River Revel. So he came up with this idea where he would bring a huge canvas and he would paint with house paint brushes and cans of paint, very loose. And while he did that, he used to say, I can't talk and paint at the same time. So he would have me tell his story. And we started off doing it for families under a big tent up in Shreveport, as I said. And it was really funny because he would, of course, correct me all the way through. And we'd end up laughing a lot. And it just ended up being kind of a show, a production. So his publisher picked up on that. And when we started doing books, when it was larger venues like, Chicago, Michigan Avenue, or in Bucktown in Atlanta, or places like that, they started having us do these shows. And they were a big hit. And George taught me a lot. You know, my first one, I went walking up and I had my notes and I was so nervous. And the first thing he did was tear those up. And he said, Wendy, you connect with your audience and you see what they see in the art and what they find in the story. And I was on my way as a storyteller, which my mother was a great storyteller. So it was wonderful.
Well, you go all over the country, don't you?
I do. And that George and I actually did presentations all over the world. But then after he died, frankly, it was the last thing I was thinking about. I don't think I was thinking about anything. I was in such a hole. And when I finally was able to start pulling myself up, it wasn't thinking about, well, that he needs me. But how do I continue without the star of the show? And so I had to get creative about it. And that's the mission of Life and Legacy of this whole foundation. Get creative when you have these things going on. So if I can't bring George, then I'm going to bring things that they don't get to see. And especially in a world that has become, even in the 8 years since George passed away, as we all know, increasingly digital. And whoever thought it would become, like it has in the COVID environment, of course, everything. And so I thought, well, I can bring original paintings, but not just any original paintings, not ones they might see on the walls of the gallery or even in the walls of the museums. How about ones from the walls of our house? How about paintings that were so important to George? Well, like the one on your screen right there, that's the painting that he did for the Boy Scouts of America. George was an Eagle Scout, was very proud to have been a Boy Scout and an Eagle Scout, and in fact, in 2011 was made a Distinguished Eagle, which he always talked about was one of the greatest honors of his life. I mean, that's something bestowed on astronauts and U.S. presidents. And
well, Wendy,
so
we also
exciting.
want to mention, in terms of your many activities, and more recently, the Bayou Teche Museum in New Iberia, you have donated work to recreate George's work, to recreate his studio. How lovely is that? So that's another recent project you've been engaged in, isn't it?
Yes, what we did is had his whole studio dismantled at home. The picture that you just had up was actually at the museum right there on Main Street in New Iberia. And they are doing a whole George Rodrigue park right there, which has one of his wonderful sculptures. But inside, yes, you can see his his studio recreation. We actually even pulled up the floorboards, which were splattered with paint and everything. And it's getting expanded. They are adding on. And with that expansion, I should also point out, I just love this museum. They're doing a permanent exhibition on Governor Kathleen Blanco that will be there. And so it will be George's whole expanded studio and a tribute to her, which I think, Louisiana's only female governor.
Absolutely. Well, before we leave you, though, let's say that you are available to talk to, when your schedule permits, to talk to schools and organizations locally and around the country. You are also an author, and so
yes.
These were reminiscences of working and living with George. And here's the contact information, too. So you've got a lot going on, kiddo. You really do.
Yes, and I would love to come see your schools. Any of you, I just hit my 100th school just in November, and it happened to be George's alma mater at Catholic High in New Iberia. It was fabulous.
Wow.
So,
and looking ahead to February, in Destin, you're going to be over in Destin, where the area that you're originally from, huh?
That's correct. And we have a big, not only a big fundraiser there, which you've got up on your screen, thank you so much, benefiting the Life and Legacy Foundation, and also the Maddie Kelly Arts Foundation, which sponsors my visit. And I will be in schools throughout Okaloosa and Walton County that entire week.
Well, once again.
And following that, Baldwin County, the next week, Baldwin County Public Schools in Alabama.
Well, very good. It's great to have you. We'll be back to you in just a little bit, but you look fabulous, especially with the blue dog behind you, and we all love the blue dog very much. And moving over to Studio A, live from Studio A at WYES. Hello, Stu Odom. Glad to see you, and we love the fact that you are a committed New Orleanian, and as it turns out, you kind of grew up at the Maple Leaf. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, according to my dad, when I was 3 or 4 years old, I was riding on the little kid seat on his bicycle uptown, and according to him, we pulled over, and he looked down at me and said, "Stu, this is where I'm going to open my bar," to which I think I responded, likely with a finger in my nose. But yeah, my dad, Bill Odom, was he kind of had the initial vision for the bar, and then other partners signed up, and he was involved with it, from the early 70s to the late 80s, and since then it's, passed on to Hank, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely, yeah, but it continues to be very, very viable. And so this music, you were exposed to all kinds of music, because I know initially there was traditional jazz, but then, morphing into other kinds of music as well. How did you get to be a bass player?
In the 7th grade, a bunch of friends of mine informed me that we were forming a band, and they told me I was going to play bass guitar, and I said, "What's that?" And then they explained it to me, and I said, "Oh, wow, yeah, that sounds fun." And so, I bought some horrible $100 student model bass, and then fast forward 40 years, and I'm making a living playing this thing. So
Very
thank
good.
you, friend, for telling me about the bass guitar.
And you are going to be busy this weekend. You've got 2 engagements. Yes, looking forward to it, huh?
Yeah, I got 2 solo shows. I mean, I play a lot with other people, but I also started doing this solo routine a few years ago, and people seem to think it's cute, so I keep doing it. Sunday, I am performing on the West Bank in Algiers, beside the Point Cafe. It's on General Meyer out there, and if everything goes according to plan, you can show up, you can taste my pork chop yakamain, which I've never heard of anybody doing, but it's got to work, right? And I'm also going to bring a goat for the kids to pet. I got a pygmy goat, and she loves attention, so she's going to be outside eating weeds and loves to be hand-fed, so bring her some banana leaves. They love that the most.
All right, Stu, now I know one of your influences is Tom Lehrer, and you like to, of course, create your own songs, and tell us about the song you're going to play for us tonight.
Okay. Also, just before that, I want to quickly plug Monday. I'm doing another solo show on the East Bank, opening for Tom Andes at his CD release party. That is at Carnival at 6 p.m. It's going to be a rockin' good time. Early in the evening, 6 p.m. I encourage everybody to show up. It's like going to be like a surreal little variety show. And I'm going to play this song probably both places because people seem to relate to this song. You asked me to play something light and sweet, and well, this song is either heavy and sweet or light and bitter. I don't know which yet, but people relate to it. It's called I Ain't in Love No More. I just came from the doctor. She says that I'm just fine, but there's a black hole on the x-ray. It once was yours, but now it's mine. I can fill it with 31 flavors. I can hog the bed and snore. I ain't gonna think about you at all because I ain't in love no more. Some women think they like me, and I think about them too. And I never, 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 never think about you. I can flirt with crabs and crawfish and the fruit at the grocery store. The whole world is my oyster, 'cause I ain't in love no more. I live alone with my smartphone and a broken down computer. I put up bars to heal my scars and keep my heart safe from looters. Some women think they like me, but they can tell that something's wrong. They can somehow view I got ditched by you, and then they smile and march along. Some women think they like me, and I think about them too. And I never, 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 never think about you. I can flirt with calamari rings and stare at the seafood store. The whole world is my oyster. I ain't in love no more. The whole world is my oyster, 'cause I ain't in love no more. And I never, 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 never think about you no more.
Hey, thank you, Stu. For more information and contact info, go to Stoo Odom, STOO-Odom.com. And for all the information there, thank you, Stu. We'll see you in just a bit. Wonderfully done. And now it's time to go back over to Poppy.
Well, I just have to tell Stu, I think that was Louisiana Eats music we were just listening to, truly. Thank you for that great rendition.
Oh, but of course, let's talk.
And now back on to more king cake talk, because why not? Well, actually, when is a king cake not a king cake? Or to eat king cake or not eat king cake? Well, you have all sorts of choices now. And one of the unusual things I came up with this week was Gracious Bakery. Of course, great king cakes and other fun Mardi Gras stuff. They also are serving a king cake latte. And I would like to point out, you just might be able to do a DIY king cake latte with a little bit of that old-time king cake syrup I told you about previously. Just a thought. Then, District Donuts. Well, District Donuts has king cakes this year. They're making regular style king cakes in almond and cinnamon, but that's a king cake donut. And isn't that just the wickedest thing you've seen to consume all by yourself? Well, maybe not the wickedest thing, because you could go to the Vintage on Magazine Street, and there you're going to find king cake beignets, 3 to an order. They're filled beignets, purple, green, and gold. And at the Vintage, you know, you can have that with champagne. And then my other newsflash. Now, this is pretty obscure. I had to do some digging for this one. But how about a Choco Zulu king cake, okay? Well, that is what you're going to be finding at the Little Woods Co-op. Now, the Little Woods Co-op does not have a bricks and mortar location. This is online, but I want to tell you, this is Melvin Stovall III, who a lot of people might be remembering from Midnight Noodles, if that you remember that incarnation. And this Choco Zulu king cake, the big ones are $35, that little individual one is $7. You can pick them up on South Claiborne Avenue on Thursdays and Sundays. You just have to order the day before, and there's all sorts of other special order options online, but it's really delicious with that coconut all over it. It's a Zulu's dream.
So creative. Thank you. Back over to Alan.
Well, the return of the NOLA Theater Talk Show last Monday was very interesting. We started off with none other than newly elected New Orleans City Councilman Oliver Thomas, who talked about his past collaborations there with Anthony Bean in theater, and talking about, basically he considers Anthony a mentor. And in addition, Tommy Myrick came on to discuss the state of black theater, along with 3 of her cast members from Fly, opening on February 4th at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center on Airline Drive. I understand she's going to be a guest next week here on Steppin' Out. Again, this is all in conjunction with Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then New Orleans native and Tulane professor of music, Courtney Bryan, came on to discuss her original composition, Sanctum, which is being premiered by the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra tonight. So, again, a very full day, or night, if you will. Coming up next Monday on the show, which you'll see on the NOLA Theater Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, or my own YouTube channel, will be Terry Lee Goffey, who's opening this weekend at the National World War II Museum's BB Stage Door Canteen with his World's Greatest Johnny Cash Experience. So check that out. Now, Peggy, every year we tell you about this, and every year people are disappointed. Ricky Graham and company roll out the crew of Terpsichore and the hilarious ladies with In and the Ball and All. So check it out. They're going to be on only one weekend at Rivertown Theaters. I'm telling you now, so you will get tickets as soon as you can, because it will sell out. And finally, Peggy, Christy Altamar was supposed to be the guest on Seth Rudetsky last week. Unfortunately, they had to postpone it. I'm not sure exact reason why, but it'll be this Sunday. You'll be able to see her.
All right, thank you so much. And I hope that you will join me every Tuesday from now through Mardi Gras Day itself for a Carnival Close-Up. Each week I'll share a favorite item from my collection of Mardi Gras memorabilia and give some history. So take a look at this one, all about postcards. Hi, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde with another Carnival Close-Up as I share some history and memorabilia from my own Mardi Gras collection. The increasing worldwide popularity of postcards in the early part of the 1900s coincided with New Orleans' increasing popularity as a destination for visitors. It's no surprise that Mardi Gras was well documented. Canal Street, with its great width, was a favorite place, of course, to watch the rolling tableaus. In these postcards from the early 1900s, you can see that locals initially dressed in their finery to greet Rex on Mardi Gras. By the 20s and 30s, more costumes are being worn. Carnival Day apparel included homemade clown outfits. The floats were pulled by mules until 1950. On any other day, the mules pulled the garbage wagons. From 1933 to 1970, the city even had an official decorator, Betty Fitton, who adorned the light standards on Canal Street. In this rare postcard, on Mardi Gras morning, King Zulu is shown on his float after arriving in a tugboat on the now filled-in New Basin Canal. Waiting for the Zulu and Rex parades to arrive, postcards give us a nostalgic glimpse into carnivals from the past. That's this week's Carnival Close-Up. More to come throughout the season here on WYES's Facebook and YouTube pages. Thanks for watching. Okay, and so that's every Tuesday. Now, though, it's time for our Picks for the Week. Poppy.
Surf and sparkle at Ralph's on the Park. It's time for that wonderful thing again. 4-course lobster menu, $75. You can add the champagne and sparkling wine for just $25 more. And all I can say is Valentine's reservations, it's going on through February 27th, so make those plans now.
All right, thank you. Wendy.
To me, one of the funnest things going on this Mardi Gras season is the headdress workshops at the Martin Chasson Gallery, hosted by Ellen McCummer. Aren't they fabulous? She makes them and she teaches you how to make them. Grab a bunch of friends, go over there, enjoy some wine, and make some headdresses for Mardi Gras.
All right, thank you. Stu, what you playing for us?
Well, I was told to play by the director, but I'm going to give you my picks for the week, and then I'll go back to that.
Yes, yes.
So not tomorrow, but a week from Friday, I'm going to tell you what you should do because I'm doing it. You should come see the Sleazeball Orchestra, for whom I write many of the songs and perform. We're going to be at 3090 on Friday the 28th from 4 to 7 p.m. And then thereafter, hightail it over to the Domino on St. Claude in the Bywater.
All right, and 3090's on Frenchman, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yes, all right, thank you so much. And what are you playing for us, real quick? What's the name of the song? Mm-hmm.
The name of this song is God's Gonna Set This World on Fire. It's a charming, happy tune about doomsday.
Okay, okie dokie. Alan.
Cabaret's finishing its run at Rivertown, but if you are unable to see it, everybody's trying to get to see it. Next week, they're going to have a very special show, a fundraiser for the Good Shepherd School called Raise Your Voice 4. It's both a talent show as well as a talent that the young people are on there. You'll be able to see it at Rivertown Theaters, and I'll see you at the theater.
All right, and Saturday night, the Argentine dance company Tango Fire will perform. That's at the Mahalia Jackson Theater for the Performing Arts, and it's a presentation of the New Orleans Ballet Association. Go to nobadance.com for tickets. And it is going to be really wonderful. It's very, very popular. They've been here twice over the last few years. Thank you all so very much. And thanks for watching. Good night.
Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.